You know, with Marietta Adventure Company, kind of out of the gate, I really embraced that diversification. So, we are primarily a bicycle shop, and do go after that sort of traditional aspect of that, in that we like to have a full selection of inventory, so that when you come in, hopefully we can put you on something that day, if that's the case. Not necessarily you would have to order something or anything like that. You can come and see it, touch it, try it, hopefully roll out the door with it. But the other side of that is, we offer kayak trips. We sell kayaks, but we rent them. So you can take them out on the water. Bicycle rentals. So those are experiences that you can't get online. Those are things that we can offer that you'll never get with an online sale. So, and here's a wonderful shot from Buckley Island. This is out on the Ohio River. You're looking at the Williamstown Bridge there. And these are the types of things that, that we can offer that our competitors that are online can't. But that's not always enough. So, in business, there's always competition, and you always have to, look for the new way to be better than your competitors, and to offer things that they can't. Kind of on that quest to further what we do at Marietta Adventure Company, we're looking at actually expanding into online sales as another component of the business. So, I still want, our, there to be the experience of our retail store, the bricks and mortar location. But my thing, I guess my question to you is, in looking at moving into online sales, and considering that in doing that, I would be directly facing companies like REI, Cabela's, Bikes Direct, Performance Bike, big online retailers. In doing that, is the thought in the local community, is there enough support for a local business that if you could get something online that's comparable in price, would you make the effort to seek out that local store online to make that purchase, as opposed to defaulting to, maybe the biggest name that pops into your head?
Great job so far. But I think what you said that was really unique to Marietta Adventure Company is that you offer those services. And so I think if you made it clear online that you can still get that same support and that same community feel by buying it online, people would be willing to do it. So really advertising and pushing that service orientation, because people can buy bikes anywhere and people can buy anything online, but people want that community feel and that service, really the service experience.
Thank you.
One thing, Ryan, that you had mentioned about custom bike fitting and not even knowing what bike is best for you, especially as adults who are willing to invest in a bike that lasts for a long time for them, is the idea of the service that you can't get online is calling up a human and actually having them help you figure out what's best for you. So that might be something that you could offer, is make an appointment to have a consultation. So you're not necessarily inundated with just random calls throughout the day, but make an appointment, and then we'll help and tell us kind of what your interests are, and then we'll make a list of, so you can research some options beforehand, and then talk to the person about well, this is what it sounds like you want, and this is an option, or would you like this or that? So then it really is a customized experience, and that's something you can't get on Amazon, REI, or any of those things. Even in going to REI, they can't even really customize things to that level for you anyways, unless you want to wait 4 weeks. So
That's a great suggestion. Thank you.
I guess my question would be, if I am a local person, if I want to buy a bike from you, why would I buy it online and not just come down and have you order it directly from the store? We're talking about the service aspect, and that is the advantage of you being able to do the service, but at the same time, really me buying it online locally compared to coming down to the shop, I don't see much of a difference. I would think the online portion would be the non-local people. That would be the advantage for them. So where would the advantage be held for the local community there?
Well, there's actually a lot more leakage out of the local community with online sales than what you would think. I see it a lot just because, being in the community, in the bike community, and kayaking out on the river and things. I see people that I know are local that had made the choice to buy something online, and sometimes you can find a really good buy on something, and it might even be the same product. It does happen, but you're absolutely right. With the sale, we can offer something that you'll never get online, and it's definitely something that's lacking. But some people, if it's just simply not in their budget, they will make that compromise at the expense of supporting local business.
And for me, I guess it's more the fact that if I'm sitting in my office and trying to buy something online at the end of the workday, if I know you have it available, I would much rather come down and buy it from you than buy it online. You know what I mean? So, and then I know I'm talking to somebody face to face. I know where the service is at. I know where all of that stands. So to me, locally, I think, personally, I would much rather come down to the shop if it was the same shopping online and at the store. So.
Yeah, and that brings up a good point. Just your example of sitting at the office at the end of the day, and it's like, oh, it'd be really easy. I'm already on the computer to buy something. If hey, yeah, I could order this here, and it's going to show up on my doorstep tomorrow. Or if I could offer that as well, and it's like, hey, I really would like to do business locally, but this is so easy. That's hopefully, that's kind of my vision, I guess, if that clarifies it for everyone in the audience, is just that scenario exactly where it's just so convenient.
Instincts to buy too
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, and then we still can offer the follow-up service, but you get the convenience of delivery to your door.
Ryan, is this more of an advertising issue that the potential consumers don't understand that you can be quite competitive with the bigger online shops? And if they knew that, if they understood your menu of prices and what you had and could compare those easily from their home, only 5 minutes away, but from their home where they're very happy to be sitting there when it's pouring rain or whatever, do you feel like that's the issue? If they could easily compare, see that you were in the ballpark or maybe a better price, then they would come, or would they buy it online and say, pick it up down here, whatever it would be. You obviously would have the shipping advantage compared to, shipping cost advantage being right here, so that you would think that, I would think that it's more of an advertising, having local community understand what you have to offer and how competitive you are.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously one of the challenges with a small business and a relatively new small business is getting the word out that you exist, and beyond that, kind of where you stand with your product and pricing. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think that a scenario, that takes place is that you think, oh, I'd like to shop local, but I'm afraid it's going to be more expensive, and I'm going to walk in the store and ask them to price it for me. It's going to be more expensive, and then I'm going to turn around and buy it online at a cheaper price and then feel bad walking back in the store, where, if I can present my whole product offering on my website, which I can't really do as it stands right now, yeah, exactly. You would know where we stand with pricing prior to walking in the store. The other thing, too, that it would open up to us is that, if I think we're at roughly 5,000 item inventory or something like that. We could push that to 20,000 items that are in the warehouse, overnight shipping away from almost anywhere in the eastern U.S., where it would open up our product offering, where now, same scenario, you would have to walk in the store and physically ask me about that product, and then I would have to show it to you, where there's not really that outlet for the customer to research it on their own from home.
So Ryan, in addition to working at the college, I do work with the Commission Visitors Bureau, as I think you know. And one of the things that I worry about a lot is that, you know, 2nd Street, Putnam, and Front Street, so many of our stores there close at 5 or 6 p.m. And so when I think about people that are visiting town doing shopping, if they're doing evening shopping, there's not much they can do. Also, I think the reason why, if I'm going to shop online, it's mainly because when I'm doing my shopping, most of the stuff downtown's closed. And so, like, well, you know, it's 7 o'clock at night. I want to go get something. Now, in the winter, that's not as much an issue, but in the summer. So, and it seems to me that the challenge is that if 1 or 2 stores are open, that doesn't work. We'd either have to have most of downtown open later in the evening, or probably it's not worth it for just a few people to be open late. So I don't know if, and I don't know if Marietta Main Street's looking at doing things like that, but is that something as a downtown retailer that you think is going to change, or is that sort of why you're going to online, because you know you're missing those shoppers that are shopping when most downtown retail is closed?
Well, you know, in my time and my involvement with Marietta Main Street, you know, that's always a discussion, hours of business with downtown. And, you know, what we hear from merchants is, you know, that's why we come to downtown Marietta and don't go to the mall, is because, you know, we want to do our own thing. We want to set our own business hours, which, you know, I don't always agree with the logic on some of that. The other is distinguishing between hobby businesses and people that are really trying to make a go of it with a little more serious business model. So, you know, we find, you know, that we're able to do later hours on the weekends, Friday and Saturday nights, and that's just because, you know, we have some restaurants that are open late, and we do have foot traffic on the block, and it is an opportunity to, you know, to capture some of that. But as a whole, and I think bringing everyone on board with expanded hours downtown, I think it'll be more of a matter of sort of slowly building critical mass in that direction. You know, because if my entire block were dead and I were the only one open, yeah, exactly, it would be tough to justify staying open if there's no foot traffic. But like I said, it works for us, and I think that, you know, as we build with things like the People's Bank Theater and things like that, you know, could help push us to that critical mass where people realize there is opportunity in that area.
Yeah, I just have a thought. Like, usually people go to online stores to buy things because they're cheaper, or it's more, like, it's easier. But we can still see all those stores which still exist because they have this customized, like, specialty stuff that people cannot get online. Like, they try to make their stuff very hard to reach, so they motivate people to come over to the store and get the stuff because that's the only place they can get the stuff. And I've actually been to your store before, and I see that, like, people go there because, like, you have those bikes which are very kind of more expensive than we can usually get from the online shop. And I'm wondering if you can, like, maybe a little bit customize the stuff, because people go there because people are from the biking club or whatever, and they go there, they wanted their personality to be built in their product. And it's just hard for a local business to compete with, that's just my thought, to compete with those huge online competitors, which they can lower their distribution cost, they can do more advertising than you can do. They have their brand built there, which you cannot compete with them. But if you can make these things more personal, like just like you said, it's something they cannot offer. Like I go to Walmart, but they cannot buy stuff which I can see me myself in it. But I think that's something you can do to make something more custom based. That's my thought.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're right. And you know, one thing with, like, the main bike brand that we carry, Specialized, we do have a protected dealership with them, and they don't permit online sales of their product. So we can't sell. We could facilitate the purchase of the product online, but we can't ship it. And that's because they want the follow-up service directly from the dealers. So that would be a limitation if we did step into online sales. But kind of to what you're speaking to, yeah, the products that we would be offering for online sale are the things that you could get from other places that you know, that are very competitively priced in a lot of cases. But I think that's really, my big question just in debating this in my mind and for my business is, is it worth the investment? Because there will be a fairly significant expense to making that transition, to setting up our website, to be capable for online sales, to contract for the company that would host, the transfer and population of all the data on the website. So, there's definitely a cost to doing business and taking that step, and it's and as I mentioned before, there's a whole sector of bike shops that are doing really going down the path that he's talking about of being very highly specialized, of boutique style bikes, very custom builds, coffee shops, and all that. So that's really, I guess, the feedback that I'd like to hear is that, is that worthwhile for a small bricks and mortar shop?
Ryan, it sounds like you're now kind of a niche business. You have a kind of a niche there, and you're talking about going into a world that is more mass merchandising, more where the bigger players are. And one thing that I've seen some businesses do in the past unsuccessfully is try to change their focus and try to expand. And what happens is when you get outside of your core competency, what you're really good at, which is you have a passion for biking, you have a passion for the outdoors, you demonstrate that through good service. And if you try to get away from that, I just worry about what happens to your business. If you take your focus, your resources, your time, your money away from what's been your core business, what happens to your core business? And so that's one thing I would challenge you to think about is, okay, if I go down this path, what happens to my core business? Because you will take your eye off the core business, because you'll be over here trying to figure out the website and how to make it work, and yet is that really what you want your business to be? So that's one challenge I would throw out to you to really think about. Be careful if you try to get away from what you're really good at and what you're really passionate about.
Thank you.
So one of the things, kind of building off of what Julie was saying, it seems that the outdoors tends to also be an interest area for those who are fit. For sustainability's sake, have you thought about like runners and as we talk about the trail and things, have you considered options like that? Because I'm certainly not one of those people. I tend to run late, and that's about it. I don't understand it, but I don't judge it. But I hear people all the time who are like, I have to order my shoes online because there's nowhere around here that I can order good quality running shoes. So maybe even looking at other things like that where people can come in and, shoes are one of those things you want to try on. You want to have the bricks and mortar. But maybe that would be another adventure for you to consider, pun intended. As you look at expanding into other areas where, everybody can use tennis shoes during the winter. They can't get on a kayak quite as easily. So, has any of that kind of thing, crossed your mind as an opportunity to keep things moving, when the seasonal nature of some of the stuff you offer isn't year-round?
Yeah, and I guess that's being a small business. That's one of the challenges too. All your square footage in your store is very valuable, and you have to utilize it as efficiently as possible. So I feel like, we pretty much, our shop, if you've been in there, is jam-packed, and almost to a fault sometimes. But yeah, that's, and that's, I guess, one of the reasons why I got on the track of exploring this online option is just because our product offering is limited just because of the square footage that we have too. So it's not only deciding the mix of product on the floor, but then you have to draw a line somewhere. So, talking about like how she mentioned, kind of focusing on what you do well. If in terms of offering a complete line of product or something, it would be a shame to bring in if we could only fit, one line of shoes and not really do that very well. It's definitely a tricky situation.
When I hear Marietta Adventure Company, what sticks out to me is adventure, and with an adventure, there's an experience. So I think more of your niche should be experience instead of sales. As an adventure company, you could do local day trips. I don't know what you do as to the extent of your kayaking trips and whatnot, but I'm picturing a trip to the wilds or Hocking Hills or something like that, just a bus full of 10 people. Or even younger people in my mind, because you could build customers through experience. You don't need to necessarily attract new people, but if I see a commercial to sell a bike, I'm not going to buy a bike. But if I have a wonderful field trip where I rode bikes around the city, I'm going to want a bike when I get home. And I feel like once somebody has that experience, wants to buy a bike from you, then they're going to get it serviced from you, and then they'll want a kayak and everything that goes along with that.
Yeah, thank you.
I was gonna
Ryan, I just want to say that I love the fact that you're considering going online, because one of the things I like to do, I like to shop downtown Marietta, and as it was mentioned, the hours. What I would love to be able to do is with the downtown merchants, go online, because I'm a midnight shopper, see what you have, and then I know when I'm coming into your store what I'm going to be able to find on a lunch break or on a quick rush. So I do think that's positive. I can tell you for me, one time I bought a car that way. And for you, it's going to open up your audience